my son, you know, he's 9 now. I basically got to beg him to come to our junior camp. I said, you know, you're coming. You got no choice. You're coming. You know, you can do your other stuff the rest of the year, but I'm gonna try to expose you a little bit to golf. And we kind of do some fun things, you know, at our course when we have our little junior camp. So, but that, you know, you're right. It's tough because I don't want to. They have attention. I mean, I thought I had an attention span of a gnat when I was 9 or 10. But these kids these days, it's even worse than that. So it's tough. It's tough. But kind of making it fun is the best thing. Yes, sir.
So you talked about amenities that you offer, things like making sure that the range balls are of a higher quality than some of the other courses. So I was just wondering, do you pass that into things like rental clubs, and what's your, if you do so, what's your process like for making sure that those are of a certain quality level?
Yes, our rental clubs. They've been either Callaway, mostly they're Callaways. I think 2 years ago we did TaylorMades, and then I kind of switched back to Callaways. So we buy about, it just depends how much they get used. You know, back in 08 we had I don't know if you guys remember, we had the bowlers, had the bowling congress in town. They were here in I think 2000, and 2000 when I was here we didn't have enough rental sets. Because we usually do about 10 righties, couple ladies, couple lefties. And of course we didn't have enough rentals back in 2000 because you got 60, I think it was 60 or 55,000 bowlers coming in a 6-month period. What are they going to bring? They're going to bring their bowling ball. They're going to bring their golf ball. So we had no idea. So then when they came back in 08, I made sure I got like 10 more sets so I wouldn't run into that problem. So when I had those back in 08, we kind of switched them out because they got really abused pretty bad and pretty beat up. But usually it's about a 2-year process where I switch them out. And then I usually have no problem selling them because people, I say, hey, I got a full set of Callaways for $500. And they're like, oh, $500, boy, yeah. A lot of times I get people every year, same people, hey, you got any more rental sets this year? And I'm like, well, probably going to keep them one more year because this year they didn't get too beat up. But we do have some of the best rentals around. So,
as an add-on, then you mentioned Callaway. Just for things like balls, clubs, do you all have a set of, do you just, for getting those supplies, do you have a vetting process for the suppliers you go to, or are you cost-driven? What is it that attracts you to certain brands that you want to stock in versus others?
Pretty much it's kind of the market. Whatever. I don't know if you ever watch Golf Channel, but you'll see an ad for TaylorMade's all over Golf Channel, so I got TaylorMade. Callaway's all over the Golf Channel, I got Callaway. Titleist, Ping, what else? Like those are the major 4. And like Pro V1 golf balls, everybody comes in and says, I need some Pro V1. So we always have Pro V1s, but I try to have as much as I can in there, but not kind of be like a Dick's Sporting Good where it's just clubs are. And I don't really do many sets of clubs, iron sets, because most people want to get fitted for an iron set. We have one of my assistant pros. He's actually done a lot of fitting with Titleist, so it's good to have him on staff. He can go down the range and kind of fit you. But so I don't really stock many irons because you got to get fitted for iron. But like we stock a lot of drivers, a lot of wedges, putters, because that's really not that. Other than the shaft, the links don't really matter much in drivers, like putters and wedges, but they're really doing an iron set. The lie. I know I'm talking gibberish to some people about the lie and the length and stuff like that. So when you get a set of irons, usually there's 8 irons in the set. Usually sets 3 to pitching wedge or 4 to pitching wedge and a gap wedge. So yeah, when you get them into clubs, you're talking $600, $700, $800. You want to make sure you got a good fitted set for you. But because drivers, could be a couple $100, or wedge could be $100. And most people say, yeah, I need a new sand wedge, I wore the grooves out. So I try to stock the major brands. And as far as clothes, I got about six vendors in clothes. I think we got Under Armour, Antigua, Adidas, Nike, little Nike here and there, Cutter and Buck, I think that's the major, those are the major golf brands, so. So just kind of whatever's kind of hot in the market is kind of what we usually try to do. Because, you know, we're not like Dick's where we're going to sell clubs, you know, we make our money on golf and we have that stuff in the shop. Just, you know, somebody comes in from out of town, they want to buy a shirt, or they want to buy a hat, or, you know, some of the regulars want to get a club, or, you know, if they play in tournaments, we get merchandise certificates we include in the tournament rate. So we get a lot of people that come in, you know, they save their merchandise certificates and they want to get a hat or, you know, a shirt, or if they get, you know, if they get a couple $100, they could buy a driver. So we try to stock enough stuff, or we have enough stuff in stock for people, but not too much. Yes, ma'am.
I got a two-part question. Part one is, you were talking about the golf carts earlier. They're all electric, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering about your mechanism for charging those up and how often you got to charge them, and et cetera. And part two of the question kind of relates to just the overall energy usage. I wonder if is led at the reservation, if the management here or any regulations put requirements on you for managing energy, not the energy efficiency, on the course and what you're doing for the course.
The golf carts, they get charged every night. When they go out, they pretty much have to be charged. We have a nice big cart barn. We charge them in. It has a system where it pulls the air out of the cart barn, because you get some gases from the batteries, so you have to pull the gas out of the cart barns. And we have kind of a nice, I guess it'd be a ventilation system. We have a very, very nice ventilation system. As far as that. As far as the energy, we've kind of talked about a little bit of solar here and there, but I guess, you know, I don't know much about that, but I guess you would have to have a lot of solar panels to kind of do what we're doing, especially with our pump house. So, you know, I don't know if we've talked about it, we've kind of investigated a little bit, but not really too much. But but that's kind of why we kind of do the electric cars for that, for the energy, that way, for the emissions. But as far as the charging, it's just pretty much, when we plug them in, they kind of charge. So P&M's pretty happy with us most of the time.
Well, if you ever need to upgrade to high efficiency battery chargers, talk to me. We got rebates for that.
Well, actually, I think they do. They are coming. They actually, now that you mention that, I think the companies now, the golf cart companies, actually had to come out with a new charger system, because I think something happened in California. It always happens in California, right? Something happened in California where they had to come out with a new system to kind of make them more energy efficient, kind of what you're talking about. So those aren't currently what we have, but when we get our new fleet, hopefully here, sometime this year, we're going to get those new chargers to be more energy efficient. Hopefully we can keep the cars longer. That's my, this is wood, isn't it? Yeah. Knock on wood.
One for you.
I just wanted to add a comment to what you were talking about, since I've been doing photovoltaics for 25 years. So I actually own a golf cart. I don't play golf at all. I have a little electric golf cart that I put lithium-ion batteries in it, so I never have to change them again, but they're very expensive. Yes. So just make the point clear is that it wouldn't take very much photovoltaics to charge any one of the carts. You know, if you have a lot of the carts, fine, but it's not like charging a car. It doesn't take very much to charge it, and it charges pretty quickly. So if you were going to work with photovoltaics for something like that, it would be a really good application. It's not difficult, and it wouldn't take very much. So
she'll get you her business card.
I'm not
I have a feeling I'm going to get a few business cards. That's why you brought me a Carl, right? Drove up some business? Yes, sir.
Back to turf management. So when my buddy Bill here takes a big old iron swing in the middle of the fairway and leaves a giant divot that goes in, the turf goes farther than the ball. So 2 questions about that. Is it better for him to get that turf and replace it, or fill it up with sand? And the real question really is that, so do you have guys that go along to